Hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. This is Rachael Alexander coming to you with my new series of Wellness Wednesday. So today I'm super excited to be talking about 5 ways to boost your self-care, or basically 5 ways to incorporate more self-care into your daily routine. So I'm going to get started in a second. If you are watching me live at any point in time during this live stream, feel free to let me know, post in the comments and let me know who you are and where you're from. I'd love to know who I'm chatting with. And yeah, give me a second. Make sure we got enough light in here. Cool. So I'd love to know if you are watching live, let me know. But I'm going to just dive into this Wellness Wednesday topic. This is a new series that I'm starting where each Wednesday I'm going to be sharing content on how to really live your best life, to take care of yourself, to take care of your body, to feel good in your body, to feel good in your skin, to eliminate stress, to heal adrenal fatigue, to end the yo-yo dieting and, heal your relationship with food. So it's going to be things, all topics covering health and wellness, mind, body, and spirit. So I was super excited to talk about this subject today because after I was doing a HIIT exercise and I was just sweating my buns off, I was like, it's so interesting how we just aren't taught these things in school, like most of us do, like, let's say 18 years or a little bit less of school and, high school, from elementary all the way to high school, but never are we taught these basic things and principles in our lives to create health and wellness, to create longevity, to create just really feeling good in our bodies and feeling vitally alive in our lives. So let's talk about the 5 ways to boost your self-care. So the first way is probably something that you should be doing. Most of these things you probably know you should be doing, but we aren't doing it just because of the hustle and bustle of life. But I might sound like a parrot on this topic, but it's so important. Just incorporating this one step, actually, I feel will actually take care of a lot of the other steps. It'll be like the foundational principle for a lot of the other steps. And the first one is really nourishing your peace, nourishing your sanity. And the way that I like to do this is to get quiet and to get still, really taking many moments in stillness throughout your day. So if you have a full-time job, like I had a full-time job last year, I still incorporated these things, I think, because it's just principles that I've incorporated in my life over the past 10 plus years that I just cannot live without. And that's why I talk about nourishing your sanity, because when you're nourishing your sanity, you're nourishing, yourself, you're nourishing you and creating a foundational pillar upon which you can build a healthy life. And so what do I mean by get quiet? So some people call this meditation. Some people, call it whatever you want it. It really doesn't matter, the label, but it's a moment in time where you are simply taking, because this will be a very, very long live stream. So I want to keep this short and simple, but basically when your inner world and your outer world are 2 separate things on a physical human level. Actually, everything is connected, but how we experience it feels like it's separate, right? We feel there's a disconnection. It's actually all connected. So how you perceive and how you receive and how you create your reality is through your internal world. And when we ignore this aspect of ourselves, when I talk about internal world, I mean your emotions, your thought processes, your feelings in your body, right? When we ignore these things, we tend to have a tendency to look outside of ourselves, and we have a tendency to feel disconnected, feel dispassionate, feel burnt out, feel stressed out. And we lose that connection with our souls. We lose that connection with that inner fire within us that gives us that inner guidance, that intuition that we all seek to have, that connection with something bigger or grander than ourselves. And so that's why I talk about nourishing your sanity, because it's about getting quiet, getting still, and getting in touch with who you really are. Because as you know, as a spiritual teacher, I'm always sharing, you are more than just your body. You're more than just your thoughts. You're more than just your emotions. You are a divine being. You are a spirit being, whatever your religious affiliation. You are more than just this human self. And when you start to tap into that part of you that's more than just human, you will feel more nourished. So let's go into the second principle, or second way rather, of boosting your self-care or incorporating more self-care. So the first one is taking many moments of stillness. What I used to do at my old job, when I used to have a full-time job, is I would push back away from my desk, because you're at your desk for how many hours, right? And I would just sit there for like 5 minutes and just get in touch with myself and just be quiet for like 5 minutes and tune in, breathe, and just let go of any stress. Or if I was trying to make something and the computer wasn't working, or this person was being difficult or whatever, I would just detach from all that and just tap back into who I really am. So that's step or way number one. The second way to boost your self-care is to nourish your emotions, right? And this is all about nourishing, right? So in this way, in this step, you want to check in with your emotions daily. So many times we are stressed out or bombarded with events of our day-to-day lives, our jobs, our work, our family, and we don't really take the time that we need to process our emotions, which really leads to this chronic stress, right? This chronic sense of ill ease, when we don't feel at ease with our life, when we don't feel content or satisfied, right? It leads to that. And whether you want to journal it out, or you want to chat with a loved one, or you want to seek therapy, which I feel like everyone on the planet needs therapy because we just aren't taught these simple principles. Being able to process and handle your emotions, even just for 15 minutes a day, will radically improve your overall well-being. So this means that throughout your day, on a day-to-day basis, you are encountering many different things, right? So you're encountering traffic, maybe on your way to work, or you're encountering someone being rude to you, or maybe you're encountering your boss, saying something, or a coworker, or your child or partner. You're encountering certain stresses, right? And when we're encountering these stresses, they're emotional things that are coming up for us that we aren't even processing because we're just always on the go. And so taking a moment in time to just simply check in with yourself, check in with your emotions. How am I feeling today, right? What was my day like? How did I feel? Do I need to set better boundaries? Do I need to approach this person and say something that way? Do I feel connected with the direction that I'm heading in my life? When you check in with your emotions, you are nourishing yourself. You're taking better care of yourself, which is really connected to that first thing. Like I said, the first principle or way is really going to be the foundation for the rest of these, because it really comes back to getting in touch with your inner world. The third way is really to nourish your bodies and nourish your cells. And the best way I like to do this is to nourish your body and your cells with plant-based foods. So whether or not you choose a specific label, like being a vegan, a vegetarian, a pescatarian, or not, it really doesn't matter, because I really don't do labels. What does matter is that we are specifically a certain species, and our species is considered to be herbivores / frugivores. And this
Something
is just,
went wrong. Please try again.
Oops, sorry. This is just science, right? This is just our scientific way of, this is just science. We are naturally plant-based eaters. This is the way our bodies were meant to thrive, right? If you're just joining me live, feel free to say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're from. I'm just going to keep chatting. And if you have any questions at the end, I'll probably be done in like next 5 to 10 minutes. Feel free to pop them in the chat, and I would love to answer any questions that you have around this topic. So back to nourishing your body and your cells. So we're herbivores, we're frugivores. Whether or not you eat meat or not, it really doesn't matter. As long as you are incorporating about 70 to 100% of your diet being from unprocessed whole plant-based foods, you are going to feel better. Why is this? There's so much science beyond this, and it's beyond the scope of this actual live stream. But there's so much science that supports the fact that we are herbivores. We indeed are meant to eat a majority, if not all, plant-based diet. And what do I mean by plants? I mean fruits, things that you pick off trees, that you pull from the ground, things that don't, walk on four legs or whatever. And it doesn't matter if you choose to eat those things that are walk on four legs. You know my stance on that. But as long as your diet is incorporating mostly fruits and vegetables, you're nourishing yourself. You're taking care of yourself, because as this vessel, our species, right, it needs certain nutrients in order to thrive, in order to feel good, in order to feel alive, right? And, that means fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and whole grains, if you can do grains, right? And finding those combinations of those vast categories that really work for you. For me, I'm actually drinking green smoothie. I have a green smoothie pretty much every day, or some form of fruit and veggie smoothie. And I try to incorporate a lot of fruits and vegetables in my diet, because I've noticed, just from experimenting on myself for 10 plus years, the more plants I eat, the better I feel. So that is way number 3, which is nourish your cells, nourish your body. And then the 4th way is to nourish your soul. So you have a purpose, many purposes actually. And the main purpose that you have is that you're here to be yourself. You're here to honor your desires. You're here to honor your passions and your dreams. In order to do this, being able to check in, this goes back to those first 2 principles, being able to check in with yourself daily to see if you're living a life that you desire, if you feel fulfilled in the work that you are doing, if you are being with the people who light you up, who bring you joy. Having this kind of internal checkpoint on a day-to-day basis helps you to stay in alignment and integrity with yourself, and really helps you to take better care of yourself. So nourishing your soul is about nourishing your heart's calling, nourishing your that passion, that zest for life that we all desire to have, right? That when you want to wake up out of bed and get out of bed and be excited to start your day, nourishing that aspect of yourself, right? And what makes us do that, right? Like sometimes you'll hear like in about, students who are quote unquote bad students and good students. Really, I don't really resonate with that. And that's a whole nother topic. But a lot of times what happens is that we're going against our passions. We're going against our inner compass. And so usually it's easier for us to want to learn about something, want to engage with something, want to dive into something when it's a part of our passion, when it's something that is lighting us up, right? And the more and more we can incorporate activities, human beings, people, and things in our lives that light us up, the more that we're nourishing our souls. So let's go on to the 5th and final way to boost your self-care or incorporate more self-care into your daily routine. And this is nourishing your mind. So we talked about nourishing your sanity, but nourishing your mind is really understanding this, that so often we're bombarded with the news, distractions, and other things that really just are pining for our attention. And yet biologically, we really aren't meant to be handling all this, lots of input, right? Like you got so many things from advertising to, just so many things, social media, and just so many things pining for our attention, that we really aren't built to handle this information overload that we have so much. So nourishing your mind is about creating a safe haven for your mental activity, for your just nourishing that positive aspect of you, that sense of gratitude, that sense of connection, right? And it's about getting rid or eliminating those things that are negative, right? Especially information like negative news and things. If you're not actively, I had a little convo with with a loved one earlier. I'm not going to name which loved one, but this person has a tendency to send me news all the time through text messages because they're passionate about whatever subjects that they've read in the news. And I had to set a boundary. And I was just like, look, I don't watch the news. I don't read the news specifically because in my late teens and in my early 20s, I was an activist. And I know all about taking action towards something when you're trying to create change. And if I'm not actively trying to create change in the world, I don't see the point in knowing news. And that's just my viewpoint. As far as it goes, I say take it or leave it. As always, flow with what feels good, let go of what doesn't. But that's just my viewpoint. Eliminating the negative inputs as much as possible will help you to feel more sane, will help you to feel more not like all over the place or scatterbrained, right? So choosing not to watch the news or be in everyone else's business unless you're actively working towards solving a problem is keeping your mind free from clutter and negativity, right? And which will help you feel more connected with who you truly are, right? Your divine self, right? And unless it's your job to share the news, right? Unless that's actually your job, like you're in the media and you're here to share the news, there's also ways that you can cope with that, of course. Also, nourishing your mind with positive information and entertainment rather than negativity all the time is what will give yourself the space to breathe and enjoy life's pleasure, right? So watching things that are positive. If you like to watch Netflix, like say you like to watch Netflix, instead of watching something that's negative and about death and gloom all the time, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. We're all playing this human game, but just like not letting that be your majority thing, right? Maybe instead watch like a comedy show or something like that, or some other things that are positive. Like, there's certain shows on OWN, Oprah, or other things like watching Gaia TV, or watching more positive things that remind you of who you are, who you truly are at soul level, that you're a divine being, will help you feel more connected versus always having this negative input of, getting caught up in the game of just being a human, right? We're here to do the human game, of course, but having that connection step further outside of just playing the human game helps you to feel more connected with yourself. So those 5 ways to boost your self-care, 5 ways to boost to incorporate more self-care in your day. Let's do a quick recap. The first one is nourish your sanity, which is getting quiet and getting still. The second one is nourishing your emotions by checking in with your emotions daily. The third one is to nourish your body and cells with plant-based foods. The fourth one is to nourish your soul by checking in to making sure that you feel in alignment with the direction of your life. And the fifth one is to nourish your mind by eliminating negativity and only consuming positive information that adds to your life versus depletes you of energy. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat or the comments below. So this is Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays. I'm super excited to be sharing this new kind of series and just kind of beginning to answer any questions that you may have. And just kind of being here for you and helping you along in your wellness journey and tapping back into your divinity and creating your divine life and business from the inside out. So I will be signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and peace, love, and light. And remember, always flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't. And remember, you are divine. Peace, love, and light.